My buddy Ryan asked me, Chael, what is the best wrestling story you know? Just the best wrestling story. And I will tell you, it's interesting in this regard. The best wrestling stories I have, probably even top 5, were not from wrestling matches. They had to do with practice rooms. They had to do with a guy becoming a legend, but doing something or building towards eventually the match. Here's a great example. What's the biggest wrestling match of all time? Well, it depends how you're going to look at it. By the numbers, officially, ESPN will support this. It's Gwiz versus Schneider, in that more people watched that match than have ever watched a wrestling match. Many wrestling aficionados will say, no, the biggest match in terms of what was on the line was Bannock versus Schultz. Both multiple-time NCAA champions, both went on to be Olympic champions, but that night it could be only one. So you start to have these debates. I would see the Bannock-Schultz. I would raise you a Bela Glazov versus Smith. But you see where the debates start to come. Now, as far as just a story, I will go back to Schultz and Bannock. And I'm tied to this loosely in this regard. I'm from Oregon. I'm in Oregon talking to you guys right now, and the story took place in Oregon. Mark Schultz lived in, with his brother Dave and their mother, Ashland, Oregon. And Iowa used to travel around doing camps. And one of the places they came to do camps was Southern Oregon University. Southern Oregon University is in Ashland, right where Schultz happens to live. And Bannock, who is a 2-time NCAA champion, came out with Iowa to do this camp. Now, so you understand, Bannock was the 2-time NCAA champion at 190 pounds. Schultz was the defending NCAA champion at 177 pounds, so they're separated by one class. I realize those numbers aren't the numbers you go off of today. Today you call it 184, 197. So Schultz has a buddy that comes over to his house and says, Iowa's in town. Schultz just looks at him, and the buddy says, Bannock's here. So Schultz doesn't say anything, and the guys that knew Mark Schultz real well said that when Mark got real quiet, that's when they knew Mark was pissed. Like, he would stop talking and he would start making noises. Like, he would breathe, but they were almost grunts. So Mark doesn't say anything, and he just goes in the other room, and when he comes back out, he's wearing his singlet. And that was a very weird thing to do at the time, but that was how Mark Schultz went to wrestling practice. He showed up in a singlet. He showed up with a singlet and headgear on like it was competition. He was known for this. So when he comes walking out of the bedroom in his singlet, friend doesn't say anything. They get in the car. They drive straight down to Southern Oregon University. So when they walked in the room, coincidentally, they had just started live wrestling. Purely coincidence. But Bannock, who was one of the coaches there, the student coaches, their whole room full of studs. I mean, Iowa's top team in the country. Whole room full of killers. But they had just blown the whistle, and the kids are all wrestling live. So Schultz walks in his singlet, and Bannock sees him come in. Nothing was said. Bannock knew why he was there. Schultz walks right up to Bannock, and they were doing situations at the time, right? Hey, get in this position, and then wrestle live instead of takedowns, by example. So the situation that they were doing was you have a single leg. So Schultz walks right up to Bannock, and he slams his foot down. So Bannock grabs a leg, somebody blows a whistle, they go. Bannock took him down. So the next, they get right back up, and Schultz gives him the leg again. So Bannock takes the leg, they blow the whistle, and they went forever. People that were there that tell me this story has never changed in 30 years. It was like 4 minutes. 4 minutes on one position where Bannock couldn't get him down, but Schultz couldn't get the lock broken. So like now the whole room has stopped. Everybody's watching this go. The whistle had blown. These two didn't stop. They're not going to stop until one of them wins. And Schultz gets his leg back. And he looks at Bannock, and he doesn't say a word. And he goes, gotcha. And turns around and leaves. Doesn't finish the workout. Doesn't say hello to any of the kids. Doesn't do anything. Walked in, went 2 goes, and leaves. And in the car ride home with his friend, decided, I'm going to go up to 190 next year. I'm going to stop Bannock from being a 3-time NCAA champion. No reason to do it other than to stop somebody else from being able to do something. Schultz did not have a goal other than to ruin somebody else's. And he did.